Hello, it's pitch black. I only have my tablet here because I wanted to show you my reference, what I am going to paint. I'm going to turn my ring light in a minute. So here we are. This beautiful image was taken by my very good friend Agnieszka. She went to Tenerife with her family. She actually recommended that place to me before, and we followed her last year, and this year she went again, and it's beautiful. I like the different textures so much to practice on this one. So let me turn the ring light back on. Oh, manage that. So you see, I wanted to avoid that white bit to show you the reference really well. So I thought it's a good practice, and to be completely honest with you guys, I'm going to try to stay positive in this channel. I didn't have a very good day. I was just really tired, and I don't know what's happening, if it's my age or if it's something else. It just wasn't very good. I went to a hairdresser, I had my hair done, and I think, oh, it's an easy day, what is she complaining about? I don't know, I just couldn't get into my groove, and I had to lie down in the garden on a yoga mat for a good half an hour. Then I went to lie down in bed properly, and I just couldn't find myself. I don't know what's going on. Do you have days like that? Do you let yourself rest? Maybe because when I went to London yesterday to see the other surface pattern designer ladies, which was amazing. I can tell you more about that in a minute. Maybe that's why. I don't know, maybe it was all the emotions. So I thought I'm going to start today brave in my sketchbook, and well done me for turning up today, because like I said, I didn't feel like it at all. So good job. I'm just looking for a second piece of paper just to get that pen started, because I have, oh, it's going fine, because I have filled up the ink recently. But that's lovely, and I love it because you can go very light line, very thick. You can change it on the way. It's one of my favorite pens. It's got very, I've probably showed that a million times before, so apologies if I repeat myself, but it's got that kind of bend nib. I don't know if you can see. I'll draw it for you. So it goes straight and it goes like that. That may be like this angle here, like that, and that gives you really nice variety for line. So the company is Sailor Japan. It's a really long pen. It's longer than your typical. For example, that's the micron. See how much bigger that is. It's lovely, and it's not that super expensive. I think I bought extra things so I can just draw the ink directly rather than buying bullets, but yeah, it's pretty good. So it's going to be quite loose, practicing my mixed media stuff. And the ink I have inside is the cartridge ink, and it's the best, so nice and strong. So let's just start with this loose horizon. And like I said, it's not necessarily going to it's not necessarily going to be the same sort of place. And I'm turning it over to make it much thinner. You can play with textures, but I don't want to get too literal. Okay, there's lots going on there. I wonder if I've been there in that way. If it went on a catamaran, and we've seen that from the distance, from the sea, it's very possible. Highly recommend that as a holiday. We had a really good time. My son fell in love with the water park. They have some epic Siam Park. I actually made a video on my other channel, which is our family channel, the Piccolinos, if you fancy looking at this microscopic little thing. But it's got like a recommendation for for it to stay and so on. Okay, that looks a bit, what's the word, geometric. Don't want to be too literal. Okay, so we have kind of a rough idea. Let's add a little details. Hope you can see fine. Tilt it a little bit. It is at the slight tilt, so I'm still working out how I want this to work, the camera and so on. I recently got this massive ring light, and that was a bit of an investment. But you know what? I learned that sometimes it really pays off to make a little bit more of a solid expense, to pay more, and it will be something that will serve you for years and years, and the way it should be. Because I had those cheap ring lights and they were not great. Okay, maybe I'm putting too much detail here. That might be enough. Those palm trees are quite characteristic. I don't want to miss that. They give a character. I want to do a little bit of work on those rocks. Okay, there's beach, there's here. Sometimes I completely blank things and think, oh my goodness, I haven't even seen that bit. Oh, cool. And I want a little bit of texture on that brickwork here. Sometimes it's good just forget about the pencil and just get on with the ink straight away, and that can be quite freeing. Right. Start with the sky. The sky is very cobalt. So I'm using my lovely schminke again today, and it's quite strong. That white cloud is quite strong. What I could do today is maybe put it with gouache later. So a little bit of white seeping through. And here at the bottom I'm going to make it a little bit more watery. Bear in mind, it's not really a watercolor and mine paper. It's just a sketchbook from Talents. I did use that before. It was very forgiving. It does kind of go a bit wonky after, but you have to bear that in mind. It's not really designed to take a lots and lots. So ultramarine to go over. So there's building a few different glazes. What else we can do? I quite fancy putting May green, which is like an apple green, and add here and there just to add the interest. So yeah, going back to how I felt today, I'm very pleased I turned up today. Well done me. Cerulean blue, my favourite. That's such a nice kind of Italian sky blue. It's very pure, and you can build up that blue many times. Now the sea looks interesting. It is quite light again. Mountain blue here, is that right? And there's lots of different textures. Wow, it's gorgeous. Lots of textures, I mean lots of colors. So this one I want to mix with a little bit of that emerald green, because it has greenery in here. And this is the exercise, guys. This is not something I'm going to be selling or putting in a museum or whatever. This is just for me to practice, to get on with moving on, experiment. Okay, I'm sticking with the same size brush. I'm going to take just something really faint brownish and stick it there at the back. Yeah, it's going watery because the brush is so large. It already had a lot of water. Let's get rid of some of that and apply again. A bit more pigment. That's probably the hardest bit in watercolors, just figuring out how much water ratio to add to your watercolors. Now the stones, I want to do them in kind of Payne's grey. Payne's grey here with white, and that always gives a nice grey. So starting with kind of lightest bits, leaving a little bit of white here and there as well to show the highlights, and then I'm going to add on the darker bits. I could do that with different material, but I'm going to stick to that. And here there was a massive shape, just adding that 3D effect a little bit more. Yeah, I recognize that hill. Super nice holiday. That was last year, and it was beginning to be really hot. We were actually looking forward to going back home to the UK because it was like, oh, too much. I am not coping too well with heat, so yeah. Okay, so going back to our Payne's grey, and look, I'm just adding some areas. Oh, it's super dark here, and I'm not copying that exactly. I'm just kind of taking a little bit here, a little bit there. I'm not too bothered to copy that. I think part of moving on with your practice, with your painting drawing practice, is figuring what you like, what you dislike, and just kind of cutting off things you're not interested in. I'm never going to be interested, I know that, in hyper-realism. I do think it's amazing. People develop those skills, you know, chapeau, amazing. Hats off and so on, but it's just not for me. I'm not interested in kind of creating almost like a copy of an image. I could take a good photograph and rather than that. So yeah, I always wanted to do more expressive, more like a feeling rather than just copying. Okay, so that's my kind of base of watercolor bit, and now I'm going to move into maybe marker pens. I don't have many, so it's not going to be very long. I might be using this Misty Rose. Yeah, that's right. Posca will come later. I also have this lovely slate for shadows and bits, and olive green. They're really good. I like them. So let's put some on. However, it's still a little bit wet, so I need to give it a little bit airing. I might put it against my little heater here in a second, and that's what I'm going to do. So break time. Super handy to have that heater in the studio. That's good. It literally took a half a minute and it's dry. So it's very vague, and I'll be adding on bits and bobs to it. Okay, I can see kind of little color variation here and here. Coming back to my London trip, we went to Marylebone in London to a nice little cafe, and we pretty much talked all the time. We didn't get much visiting or going sightseeing. A few of girls were actually from London. We didn't go there to visit kind of sites or anything. We just wanted to meet 6 of us. We are an immersion study group, so I don't know if you're familiar with Bonnie Christine's surface pattern course. This is Inkten's blog. She does amazing courses. I'm just about to finish that one. So every Thursday we meet up online and we talk what we've been up to in regards of a course and working, you know, towards that. And everyone has slightly different story, and it's so good. I'm so happy that I actually decided to invest in that, because when I did, for example, Make Art That Sells course, which is fantastic as it happened, it just was, you were completely lost when it finished, so you didn't know what to do with yourself after that. It's very frustrating. So I didn't make that mistake this time. I decided to invest in this. I think it was someone on YouTube said that they were in similar sort of group during their course in previous time, and they found it super useful. So I thought, okay, if I'm doing it right this time, you know. So that was a good decision. I don't want to tell you exactly what I'm doing. It's going to be boring if I just, oh, I'm doing this, doing that. So you can see I'm just using the same sort of things. Inkten's blocks, a little bit of watercolor, just going on top of it. And it's quite wet again, so I think I'm going to have to dry it again. It would be nice to have a little hand dryer just to get on with it. It's only a fresh notebook, a sketchbook, so I'm intended to turn up every day and doing my practice. It doesn't matter if I still have coursework or anything to do. I still want to show up. Oh, it's not easy to open, because that's what I noticed gives me the most growth. It might not seem like I'm doing much here, but every time, even when you make a mistake or little aha moment, that's really what matters, what counts. I don't want to make shadows with all the same color. I want to add a bit of browns there and things like that. So this is quite dark in here. Just building layers and layers and layers and having fun with it. That's what it's all about. I like that in the foreground. She took a really good photo. Well done, my lovely friend. You did well. Okay, this is Posca White. Have fun with those waves. Yesterday I made a right mess out of it because oh, it's still wet, so I'm gonna have to wait. Look, my Posca pen is all green, unfortunately. Oh, it's clearing off. Clearing off. That's better. Okay, it's back to clean again. Need to be really careful not to go onto wet too much, although it can give you a nice effect. Okay, I'm going to dry it up a little bit. There we go, it's been dried. Also, when it dries, it changes colours a little bit. Maybe not so much with watercolours, but definitely with gouache. That's sticking out now. Have I got any clips? on. Just use this little one, that should be enough. Okay, that's fine. So let's use that Posca pen, and let's go with a little bit with those waves. I like when that Posca white one has enough kind of contrast with something else. It's not that good when it's just light everywhere. But hopefully against this one. So just to make those ripples look a little bit more. Everything's shaking here. I think it's my peppermint and licorice tea. I'll put it on the floor. So I wonder if you have like a daily practice, if you manage to get to the point where you are we decided, okay, I'm going to do that every day, no matter what. I know life comes in a way sometimes. I'll try to utilize yesterday as much as I could. I knew I'm not going to have much time, but I actually managed to do some sketching, drawing. Oh, missed that pastel. Managed to do some drawing, sketching on a train. It was a bit shaky, so I couldn't do it for very long. And then in the evening, I got comments regarding my Neo color pens. I thought, oh, I could just do a really quick swatch thing, and that would be nice to do a video response rather than just talking about it or responding in the comment. Thought it might be useful for more people. And I was so tired. Honestly, I was like, my eyes are closing down, but I managed to do it. It wasn't a very long video. Pretty straightforward to edit, no issues. Yeah, it was good. I'm glad I did it. It's quite productive. Maybe today I'm paying for it. It's just zombie day. Okay, I'm being a little bit too neat with it. Darker pencil from Castle. Oh, where's my museum one? That's the only problem, guys, that I have so many different materials. Just to use it all, it's impossible. My future studio of dreams is going to be huge table. Basically massive, kind of in the middle of my maybe garden studio. I'm thinking, if you can dream, why not dream you know, big. Either like a garden studio or cabin or converted garage again, but maybe twice the size as I have now. As long as I can spread somewhere and not have to tidy up, that would be lovely. That would be nice. I'll be happy. And having some daylight and nice lighting and good temperature during the day, because this studio gets so cold. It's impossible to sit here. Oh, there's so much greenery here. How could I miss that? Like, seriously, sometimes it's like obvious things. I miss it. Oh, I love it. So much fun. So I'm using those Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarelle, in case you're wondering what is she talking about. What else we have there? Brown. And they are really lovely. They're quite pigmented, and when you draw, they actually leave a mark. And then what I can do, if I want to, I can take a brush, maybe smaller this time, with water, and kind of mix it up a little bit, blend it if I want to. But I quite like the idea of seeing that brush, what's it called, brush, pencil stroke, which is funny because when I did more kind of realistic style before, I didn't like seeing those brush strokes, sorry, saying the same thing over, pencil strokes, pencil kind of marks, that's the word. And now I love it. I love seeing that. It's funny. I think, oh, I don't want it, and other people might actually love it. It's a bit undefined, unrefined. So many houses there in the background, but unfortunately in Tenerife now, locals are not very happy with tourists, and they are probably because the housing becomes very expensive for regular people that live there, just live there. I can imagine it's just really frustrating for them. So I think they're trying to do like a tax or something, but people will pay anyway. I don't know if that's the resolution. Maybe there should be some restrictions that the housing can only be in certain areas, or percentage only bought by locals. I don't know. The thing is, when it comes to money, they're just going to do what they want. Super thin line, I like that. I want to play with those rocks a little bit. Take this, let's see if I see those and put a little tiny lines on the rocks. Otherwise they look a bit like eggs, like no texture on them. Also started a really nice course in Domestica, which was in my... I had it for absolute ages, and I didn't even know I had it. And the advert came up on my Facebook, I think, and so, oh, it's a lovely course. I want to buy it. I want to see it, what it is. And then I realised I have it. I have it already. So yeah, I have a lot of courses on Domestica. I have to say I have, I think, around 80 over years, but they're good. Some of them probably I shouldn't have bought, like this realistic charcoal, but you can learn something from every artist, and that's what I love. You can pick up little bits. Let's define that a little bit more. Everybody has something to offer in terms of the process, their materials, and even I always watch what inspiration is for them, what they've been inspired by, their artists that they follow. I find it always fascinating. So, and I don't like to subscribe if I can't avoid it. I rather go with buy it out rather than subscription. Oh, it really annoys me, that one rock here. Do I need to mix the Payne's grey and just unify it a little bit? Okay, I'm kind of leaning back a little bit to, because that sand is quite dark as well. It's a volcanic ash beach. It's not sandy beach. Okay, let's add some live here. Where is our gouache? There is our good trusted pot of designer Talons gouache. So Talons, same brand. I want to take a relatively big brush. A round one. This is Jackson's brand. Just dip it in here. And very much kind of roll it around in a roll around fashion up to here. Add a bit more. The problem is it does mix a little bit with the bags. It's not going to be pure white. If you want to do that, probably acrylic would be better to do that. I might actually do that. I might grab an acrylic and put this as a background, kind of this greying bit. Oh, let's mix it with a little bit of a Payne's grey. See, I don't want to go too realistic because it's not going to be matching very well with that. And then a little bit of waves as well. I'm on a rock here with this dry brushing. Oh, run out of it. Yeah, put enough there. Doing a bit of dry brushing. Don't want to end up too samey. Let's add a little bit to those clouds. I quite like this effect. We need to layer it out to get a good one. I wish I made the sky a little bit more intensive now. That's a good one for the future to make that cloud stand out. Stippling movement. Okay. Cool, and let's do the fun bit with our Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2. And then wipe that brush straight away. Good habits. I never leave my brushes in the water. I've been so allergic to it. So making sure everything is nicely cleaned at the end. I might leave it like I'm in the middle, leaving it somewhere on the side. But it will be washed in the end. Alright, looking at this like that. Let's get our pencil. There's lots of kind of brownish. Which one will be? I'm gonna play with both. So a little bit of that background. Look how nice, that gives a little bit like a highlight, or even that one, on the stones. Let's give it a little bit of grey as well. I have to say, this is what I love about mixed media, that you can actually have some unexpected combinations of colours and things like that. Let's take that darkest brown now of our Neocolors and define a little bit more here. There's some sort of green. Ooh, those clouds are kind of standing up. It was like 3D here for a second. Nice. Possibly I overworked it. It's very possible because it's a bit much. Ooh, I need to be careful. I'm dipping my hand in those gouaches. It's all quite dark in here. getting quite dense, getting quite tight, so I need to be careful not to overdo it. Just a nice light there, which kind of kept it right. I love that feeling of the light shining. Sorry, you can't see that image, so I'm talking. Oh, that's going to be nice. Just give a little bit of that highlight. So much darker there. I need to go darker. Probably we would do a glaze. Olive brown. Doesn't look kind of like green. Will work here. Okay, let's do that sea a little bit darker. Now that makes a difference. Indigo, such a beautiful color. Okay, so you probably don't know because this is just as it was, but I just had to go and save my son from a fly in his room. So we had quite a, what's the word? Oh, it left me now, this word. Never mind. We had quite fun not dealing with it. Rodeo, that's the word I was looking for. Rodeo. With that bloody fly. Okay. But it was good because I could at least walk away from the drawing. I don't know. I see other people drawing, painting, and I love the work so much. When I look at my stuff, it's just I'm not happy. But you know what? I turned up. I did it. Let's see if I can add a little bit of highlights here on the streets. Yeah, that's cool. Maybe with a kind of a yellow. It's all kind of becoming samey. Oh, so what did I learn from this practice? Let's analyze. I do love the rocks here, how they turned up. And we could probably play a little bit more textures and putting a little bit more in there. But again, I don't want to overwork it. I'm not crazy about how little details there are at the back. Maybe a bit overworked. Maybe I could have put more intense sky and then put on top of that the gouache. That will be better. I do like this different shades of watercolor. That was a good tip. I always struggle to do those sort of wave at the angle. But again, it's not supposed to be the same. Maybe I could do a little bit of details of those rocks or whatever that is. Where's white? White is in different set. Everything is just spread out. Oh, it would be nice to have like a little drawers here that kind of expand. Oh, that would be a good idea rather than a massive table. Because massive table I also have to run around it and get stuff. Yeah, by the time comes for me to have something like this, I'll probably figure everything out. So when I was setting up my photography little studio, that took me a long time to work out where it's gonna go, where it's gonna go. Ooh, it's actually starting to pulling together. Maybe it's a good idea just to carry on. How do I get this kind of darker? I don't have this dark. I'll probably have to do watercolor again. Yellow ochre and brown, and I need to add a little bit of a Payne's grey for it. Oh, too dark now. That's nice. That's a cool effect with this brush. Becomes kind of separated and gives you a nice brushy feeling. Oh, sorry, I kicked you guys. Oh my goodness. Dog, I really would like a black of the what is it called? The Neocolor ones. Trying to rectify those waves a little bit. White gouache again. Make it a little bit more dynamic. Can you see in the camera? Yes, good. Okay, just checking. Just kind of moving away myself from it a little bit. Let's see the picture. That's our reference. And that's our drawing. I can still make that sky a little bit more. Go crazy. I can go with a gouache, wet gouache with a marker, obviously. Making sky a little bit more interesting. think there's here's a bit too nicey, those waves need to mush them up a little bit. You don't want them to be too unified. Let's get our Posca again and just add those light bits here, super thin. Mostly that, the background, the white. It's not amazing, but again, I did it, and I'm glad I did. Maybe a little bit of enough stones and things on that beach here. And I can add a tiny bit of black to it, like a shadow. Oh, that's really dark grey, and that's black. Grey to start with. Okay, cool. It gives a little bit of a interest. Very much mixable. And the contrast, like just hit contrast here. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it like that. Or maybe not, maybe just a few more. And this is my attempt on this Tenerife view. I will no doubt come back to this picture and do it a different way around, slightly different way. But that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for any subscription, and I would love to see what you guys doing. I would love to see, I don't know if it's possible to see what you've been up to and what sort of work you're creating. Oh look, I can't stop. So please let me know if you would like to share, and till next time. Thank you so much. Bye.